Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am Minelli and I am not perfect. So in today's video, we'll be doing our makeup. We'll be having a soft glam or glam look, and we'll be having real talk about roles in our life and facing our fears. So let's get started. Okay, so I already went ahead and did my eyebrows offline. I also primed my face. I put the serum for hydration. I also put some rose oil on and a moisturizer. So today's look is going to be a glam look. Therefore, I am first going to start with my eyes, only because according to some eyeshadow palettes, you do have some fallout. So it's better for you to start with your eyes and then finish your face at the end. Okay, so I'm going to go in with my concealer, the Tarte one. And what we want to do is blend this out, only because we do have fine veins sticking out. So we just want to have a base before we start putting any makeup on there, just so the color can stand out to its full potential. Okay, so we are gonna be using the palette by ColourPop. It is called Nude Mood. And we're gonna go ahead and go into the color Mugged Off, which is like a burnt orange. And what you wanna do is, especially those with hooded eyes, go ahead and feel where your eyebrow bone is at. That's where you're gonna wanna start. Okay, and we're gonna wanna do a V shape. So go put your eye brush in an angle, pat in the colors first, make sure it is well in your skin, and where you feel your eyebrow bone, that's where you're gonna go up. And just go ahead and go in if you need to, throw the excess off and go in a V shape. So here you go, and here we first did it. That's your V. Next is we're gonna wanna go halfway in. Once it is patted in, go ahead and do the rainbow shape or small circular motion, just to help blend out the color. Those of you with hooded eyes, again, try to go as higher than you can, like maybe mid eyebrow bone, or a little bit higher than your eyebrow bone. So once our first color has been placed on, go ahead and grab another brush, clean, and go ahead and get a lighter skin toned brown or nude. I will be using the Bare to Wear, and this is just gonna help us blend in our color so we don't have those rough edges. Okay, once that is blended in, go ahead and go back to your brush that you used the first time. We will be going in to add depth into our eye. I'm gonna go in with the color Moody. Throw off the excess because this is very pigmented. And go ahead and do the same V shape, but just stamp on the color. We will work on blending later. So go ahead and stamp in the color. And this one, you are gonna wanna go right where your eye socket is at. Do you guys see that? And this is also what makes it look more glamorous. And this one, we're gonna wanna bring it in up to halfway. The first brown one was 3/4 ways. This one is gonna be halfway. Once that color is in depth in your eye, you're gonna go back to your blending brush. This, remember, has nothing, maybe just your transitioning color. And go ahead and blend that out. Make sure there are no rough edges. Go ahead and also bring it up a little bit. And just blend away until harsh lines. Do you guys see those harsh lines? Until that goes away. Okay, so once this is blended in as much as you can, we're gonna go back with our Bare to Wear, the one that we were using to blend everything in, and I'm gonna pat it from the inside out. Make sure to pat in your colors. And the reason why I'm doing a lighter tone is because I am going to be adding a glitter kind of shadow. So we want that to pop out as much as we can. So a lighter base will make that stand out. Next, I am going to move to my Nikki Tutorials eyeshadow palette. I'm going to go in with the color Underground. And I'm just going to use my finger. Make sure your fingers are clean. Make sure you don't have any eyeshadow residue on it. And this is the color, this is the shade. And basically we are going to pat it in as much as we can. Get that color going. Okay, and once that is patted in, go back in with a brush. Take off the excess and blend a little bit out that color, so that I like to have the glitter particles out a little. We're back. So once our eyes are halfway done, because we need to go back to them, brush off the excess. If you have any excess of eyeshadow on your underneath your eyes, make sure this part is clean. We're gonna go in with our foundation. Today I am gonna be using the Makeup Forever HD Ultra HD Effect, and I am in the shade Y245. This is the way it looks like. This is really good for if you're going to events and you're gonna be taking pictures. It basically captures, it looks flawless. I did 2 pumps, place it all over my face, forehead. Don't forget your neck. And I will be going in with my brush and go ahead and just blend away. After we have our foundation in, we will be going with our concealer. Since this is a full glam, I do like to make a V shape around here, only to make sure that if you are taking pictures, that the light just wants to focus in here. Let's go ahead and do our sunrise and our sunset and the bridge of our nose. And go ahead and blend, 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 blend. Okay, once that is blended out, I am gonna go ahead and set my concealer. I went ahead and bought this Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. I only got the sample size just to see if I like it. I am gonna go ahead and put a little bit on the top. Grab my beauty blender and place it all over where we put our concealer. This time I am not going to brush it off right away, only because I am gonna finish off my eyes first, and then we can go ahead and brush it off. So the reason why I'm allowing this time for my translucent powder to stay there is because we're gonna go ahead and finish off our eyes, and just in case if we do have fallout, we can at least brush it off and it will fall off under this powder. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back to my ColourPop and use the 2 colors that I used to blend, the mugged off, and we're gonna go ahead and go underneath our lash line on both sides. Go 3/4 of the way, not too much, and go ahead and get your other dark tone. Mine was Moody, and put that on top of it. Now I am going to brush off the powder, the excess powder. Okay, now we are gonna go into contouring. Tip here, same thing, try to feel your cheekbones, and right underneath your cheekbone is where you want to add the contour. So I am going to be using the Hula Benefit in the shade, there's no shade on this. I'm just going to grab this one where you felt it from the back in. And push it up, go upwards, because we do want to make our cheekbones look high the way that they are supposed to. So just go ahead and blend up, 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 up. And this is to contour. Right now we're going to go in with our bronzer and then our blush. Okay, and next we are going to want to bronze. I just got a new bronzer. I got it in the sample size just to try it out. This is from NARS and it is in the color Laguna. So this is where we create our shadows. Go ahead and grab your bronzer brush and go ahead and start and applying it upwards as well. Okay, so I went ahead and put my eyelash on. So the trick to this is to put the glue before you start putting your bronzer, so that way you can let it set. It has to be tacky. I don't know if you can tell, but it's supposed to be more gooey, tacky. And what I like to do is put it towards the center. And look this way to make sure it goes all the way to the end. And apply it as close as you can to your lash line. And push it in. Okay, so in future references, I will be having a video just on how to apply your false eyelashes. It is very tricky. I still don't usually put eyelashes, so it is a learning process. So we're gonna go ahead and go in with blush. So you just wanna smile a little bit and go upwards. This is a blush from Milani, and it is in the shade called 05 Luminoso Luminix. Okay, so those of you who would like to, you can go ahead and add some highlight. And this is good for whenever you're taking pictures. Do it at the bridge of your nose. I like to go on the top part of my cheek and upwards. This one is by Rare Beauty by Selena Gomez again, and it's in the shade Mesmerize. So go ahead and stand in front of a light, and wherever you see the light naturally hitting you, that's what you want to bounce off. So that's why a lot of people do it at the tip of their nose, because sometimes it is there. And I think this is enough for me. I'm going to go ahead and blend this in, and we'll be back to finishing this look. Okay, we are close to finish with this look. The last product that I will be using is this lipstick by Huda Beauty, and it is in the shade color Promotion Day. I really love the bullet, the shape of this lipstick, because my lips are extremely pointy and it helps me outline first and then fill in. So I like to first warm it up in the palm of your hand and then go in, because sometimes it comes out all weird. So let's go ahead and get this started. So this is our finished product. Hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully you learned a little bit. Now let's get ready for some real talk. So the reason for this video, naming it I Am Not Perfect, is because there was a point in my life where I felt like society played a big role in my life personally, of being perfect, feeling perfect, being perfect, looking perfect. And reality is that I'm not perfect. And I had to dissect why I was feeling such ways. And having a lot of roles in my life was one. And fears in my life was another. So I first want to talk about the roles in my life. Some of them probably came too early. Some I probably wasn't ready for. Some I had to adapt quick and didn't really have time to learn in the way. But the first one is, of course, being a daughter. The second is being a sister. The third is being a friend. The fourth is being a wife. And lastly, the role of a mom. That has been the most terrifying role of my life, because especially when they're newborn, you're the one that's responsible for anything that happens to that baby. Your mom can help you, obviously, but now you're the mom. And sometimes, reality hits where it's like, okay, well, I have to do this, this, and this. But because I was putting a lot of importance on every single role that plays in my life, I never gave myself. I never saw self as a role. I had to put a pause in those roles for me to really heal, take care of myself, to be the best version of myself. Because if I'm not the best version of myself, my husband is not going to get the best version of his wife. My daughter's not going to get the best version of her mother. So from acknowledging that I needed to work on self was when a lot of realization came out that I do have a lot of baggage in my life. They have been brought up due to unfortunate events that I thought I had healed from, but obviously I didn't. And I did deal with trauma when I was a child, and I had to face that fear and talk about it to the person who hurt me. And that day landed actually on one of my best friend's wedding, which was beautiful. So I want to go ahead and did that first, talk to my fear, come face to face with it. And I just felt so relieved of letting go. But the years after that was dealing with grieving and healing. And that was the hardest part, because I did need to go through that, the grieving and healing, in order for me to fully grow and let that in the past. And the second main thing that I came to realize with self, when trying to get to know self, was that because of all my trauma and maybe not feeling the support that I wanted during that dark time, was dealing with depression. And that was another one of my fears. And it was dark. It was completely dark, even though I was surrounded by support. When you are dealing with depression, you don't see that. Your mind is so clouded, your vision is blurred, that all you do is just call out all the imperfections of yourself, of others. And with that, I was also hurting those whom I loved the most. I just dealt with it myself. And literally my husband and my daughter, they saw things, they heard things that maybe they shouldn't have. But that's the hard part of dealing with healing and grieving, and trying to acknowledge that you have to go through that in order to leave that behind and become a better person, become a better you. There were many times where I just felt so unworthy, and I felt like my husband needed a better wife, a different wife. I felt like my daughter needed a different mom. I didn't feel perfect. And a lot of very dark thoughts came in my mind. But I am glad to say that I'm dealing with it, and I have the support of my husband, which I love so much and I'm so grateful for. But I am healing, I'm grieving, and I am acknowledging that I'm just going to be a better person in this world. And to close this off, I do have an assignment for you ladies, something that personally helped me a lot through a study that I did earlier in May, I believe, of 2020. It was from a study called Mrs. Better Half. And that's more for a marriage, but I think this is just great for all women and even men. And one of the questions that was there was, what are some healthy patterns that you bring to the table, whether it's to every role of your life, whether it's to yourself, to your friends, to your family, to your boyfriends, to your husbands. And second question is, what are some unhealthy patterns that you realize that you have? And when I did this, it was easier for me to write down the unhealthy patterns than the healthy patterns. Maybe because I am so hard on myself and I know what I am not great at. But once you start realizing that, do your research, start seeking for help, grieve whatever you have to grieve, heal from it, and start building from it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you liked this glam look, and I really hope you enjoyed hearing a little bit of my story. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. I'll see you next time. Blessings.